Godsmack. I was muted. I had to unmute myself. Hello, all you whippersnappers. Let me go down the line. Cinnamon Girl, thanks for popping in. Hello, May darling. Cried Baby Sue Drew Sicker. Hey, Exploited. Hello, Kels. Who am I missing? Hello, Lisa. Thank you for becoming a member, Lisa, for sure, girl. Hello, Miss Justice. Good to see you. L. Kennedy in the house. L. Kennedy in the house. RJ. I believe, of course, Carrie Lawson is here. Thank you, Carrie. I appreciate you. I know that I schedule it and then I end up coming on early. Nicole. Hello. Can't see. Okay, so I was going to watch the Hatfield and McCoy Part 2 interview with the Wells, and I started to watch it, and I was like, no, I need to watch this with my people. So, yeah, the description is in, the link is in the description, right? For sure. I don't think, I don't know. This is so weird, you guys. So freaking weird. So we are going to, we're going to hear them out, okay? But I am a commentary channel. I give my opinion. The opinion of my channel may not be the, opinions of others. And I'm good with that as long as everybody else also respects that. For sure. Let me see. Hold on. Okay, so just to let everybody know, I'll leave the Summer Wells banner up, but we're not necessarily speaking about Summer. This is about an interview with Don and Candace. It is a new interview, and oh my. Like I said, I started it, and then it was like, ugh. Skunk 8 Ministries. Yes, that is the opinion of some people, Skunk. For real. All right. We're going to get into it because I promise we are not doing 5 hours today. Okay? Not at all. Now, as I always say, it is irrelevant to remain calm if you like these individuals or not. That is not the point. Okay? For real. Please police yourself in chat. Carrie's the only one in here. I want to make it as easy for her as possible. I will also try to keep up with my chat. All right, let's get started. Are you guys ready? Are you ready? All right, here we go. Oh, wait, I had him muted because I'm a low budget baby. All right, here we go.
A couple of comments. I'm not going to get into the drama, but I am going to make a couple of comments. And it's about like how Candace and Don has gotten out there and got all these rumors started on them and so forth as of right now, because as of right
now. Absolutely. Remember, Don and Candace, they got a lot of rumors started on themselves because of things they said, especially Don. And my, oh my.
Now they're nothing more than rumors, vicious rumors. Many of them started from YouTube. No proof.
There are, I agree. All right, we're gonna not to be disrespectful, but we're gonna get right into Dawn and Candace interview. And yes, I am not gonna show Dawn with his shirt
If it is
off
invalid,
today. Hold on, we got a commercial. We have a commercial. All right, hold on. Let's get through the commercial. Wait till you guys
tear it down. So we had to live in that part of the house, and my basement was unfinished, and we was
Okay, hold on. I want to slow it down. Slow it down there, RC. Okay. So this is what they said is part 2. Okay. This is part 2 of their interview. And I'll show you. I will show you guys. Candace is sitting on the porch. Dawn is sitting in a different chair. Okay. Hey, Rand 15150. Hey, Patty. Patty Ponytail. All right, here we go. It said, yes, I did. Cuntsy. We went over part 1 yesterday. This is part 2. He also states that in this one, if I remember, right? Candace looking stoopy on the stoop. For sure. Well, we're going to pray for the family. That would be messed up if we talked about loving God. God absolutely would expect us to pray for that family. We all prayed for that family. Okay? We all have prayed for that family, right? You're welcome, Cals. Okay, here we go.
we had a trailer here at one time, and we had a bulldozer come up here and tear it down. So we had to live in that part of the house, and my basement was unfinished, and we were staying down there. Okay.
Thank you, Candace. Sorry.
We added this part on, but for a while, that's all we had. And so we let Chris McDonough come in, and he filmed the basement. It was unfinished.
I'm sorry to make her
Oh, that's
upset.
fine.
I can understand her frustration, but again, if we don't get, as
Now, I am going to say this. Candace allowed Chris McDonough to come into her home and record, right? I'm not showing it, Cuntsy. Do you need to see Dawn's face? Here you go. Here's Dawn without his shirt on. I just showed him. There you go. Do you need to see that? Do you need to see that? Okay. Kels, I seen you on your regular account and your backup, right? And only finished because somebody else paid for it. Well, that's what I heard too, RJ.
right now it's died down. This case is Summer. That's why we haven't, because you were always getting so much attention, and we let it go because how much do you need? But now, since everything's died down and faded away, it needs to be brought back to light again, just to let people see that, hey, this girl's still missing.
Right.
We still need help, and you're still wanting people's help.
Excuse me, sir. It has not faded away. It will never fade away, right? It will never fade away, ever, for a lot of us. I will say, when Don's sober, he can speak clearly, sound sincere. If no one researched and saw or heard Don when he wasn't, they wouldn't understand why there are many people who are convinced he's involved. Now, we don't need to see him without a shirt at all. Okay. Okay, moving on.
and I'm sure she is too. But
Well,
we've got to get the
it's,
word.
it's my theory for Sebastian and that other girl that come up missing too. I can't remember her name right off the get-go. The one in Kingsport. What was her name? I can't remember.
I don't remember that.
But anyway, I think all these kids, I think, like I said, DCS.
Don, you are really big on speaking about other children and speaking about CPS, and you don't really talk about Summer. Okay, seeing him without his shirt is almost as bad as hearing his preaching. Yes, maybe I should send the clip of him preaching to the Hatfield and McCoy people. I'm just saying. I showed it over here. May, I'll cry over Summer. I wish it would fade away, but it doesn't. Well, no, she hasn't been found. Now, I mean, I get the fact that there's a lot of channels people don't want to watch, and that's good. Everybody's adults. They can watch whatever they want. That other woman is an adult, and Kingsport has been focused on her before.
Was the only ones in our lives, you know, and for them to come up here 24 hours.
Now, see, that's where Don really needs to think about what he just said. Now, no, his family, except for his sister Sonia, right, and her husband, were not a part of Don and Candace's life. From my understanding, they didn't even know Candace. They had never met Candace until Don took her there when they were coming back from the Dr. Phil show. They stopped off, right? Okay, Concy. It's probably the one that I have clipped.
Prior and say, oh, everything's hunky-dory, we're going to close the case, which is bullshit because they don't just close cases.
Yeah.
So we thought everything was just fine, but then 24 hours after they left, she come up missing.
That's okay. If you don't care, just because I'm not familiar with the case, and we can stop this anytime you want,
No,
but
you're fine.
you come home from work. She called and said she's missing. She was missing. She didn't get out of bed that morning. When she saw her go to school and she didn't come home.
Her mother had a camper there in park, and so her and her mother unplugged.
Okay, he's describing. I will show you a little bit of it. He's describing where Grandma's camper was, right? Why not? I never heard that Candace had mistreated the animals. I mean, but that's your opinion, girl.
My boys was here, and then they was up here on their phones.
Now,
the
hold
boys.
on. Her and
This is a problem for Remain Calm. Don is stating the script as being factual to him. He wasn't there. He wasn't there. And like we talked about yesterday, right? I can't remember what I was going to say. I seen Misty Rose and my mind went blank. I don't know.
her mother.
Candace's mother was here.
Candace's mother.
Yeah, grandma.
Okay.
Yeah. My three boys was up here on their phones, of course. Summer wanted to go downstairs and play with toys, and she tried to get the boys to go downstairs and play with toys with her.
Oh, thank you, degenerate. Appreciate ya.
But they didn't want to. They wanted to sit up here on their phones. And so she went down there by herself, and that's the last she was seen.
And how old are the boys?
Well, I don't know.
Well, 5 years younger, of course.
Yeah.
But
No. Don Look at the tattoos on Candace's leg. Molly Golightly wasn't happy when you nor Candace could tell her when Summer's birthday was. Right? Well, Don doesn't know anything. Don doesn't know a lot about his kids because he said he worked all the time. Right? I never understood why Don was spokesperson. Exactly, Chris. He was not there. He says he was not there, right? Yes, I have heard Candace talk to Chris. I think we've all heard Candace talk to Chris. That's sad. Hey, who knows? That's sad they don't just keep up with stuff like normal people. I don't know. I cannot answer for others.
I mean, but they was younger than teens.
Yeah, it was just, you know, all three of them were in school. But,
Sure. And that's the last time anybody seen her when she went downstairs.
Downstairs.
yeah, she went downstairs.
And nobody saw her at all?
The boys did, seen her
I mean-
downstairs.
Yeah.
But from there, they don't know. She could have, somebody could have knocked on the basement door.
That's what I was
and
gonna
she
ask.
might have answered it, like, who are you or what? Or she could have come outside and got on the swing over here.
Yeah.
I mean, she probably would have answered the door if somebody would have knocked on it.
Was the door opened or?
That's very interesting. That, you know, stating that somebody could have knocked on the door and Summer answered it.
Don't know. We don't know.
It
So
wasn't locked. It
The
could
kids
have been
leave-
opened or
The
not.
kids leave the doors unlocked and stuff.
Oh, she's asking Chris if he heard Candace. Heard Candace saying what? What she said yesterday in the first interview? Candace did so mystery dogs by chaining them up 24/7 and not being able to feed them. Good point, Miss Justice. Good point. But from what we heard from his stepsister Mary, and from what we heard about a kitten that Summer loved, that's kind of what I was speaking on. That is kind of what I was speaking on. I'm trying to think because remember the dog pound came out and said that even before the YouTube shit, right? Even before all that, if I remember correctly, and I could be remembering wrong because you know, animal stuff, I didn't intertwine that with Summer, but I thought that they said that even before Summer went missing, that they had at times had been helping with dog food and stuff at 110. That's if I'm remembering correctly. And you guys, I am not going to sit here and act like I remember everything correctly. Okay? You would have, yeah. Well, obviously they did it. Now, let me say this, okay? I'm not going to hate on these people. It's just that they kind of, the only thing that I thought was a little strange is the going up on the hill, recording it, saying that they weren't recording when they were actually recording. Thank you, Carrie. But then you have to think about, did Don already know that they were coming up on the hill? Because he didn't seem to have a problem with it. Candace was the one who it seemed like she was caught off guard. So that was a little different, right? That was a little different. And boy, we all had different opinions on that, right? I remember them asking for help. Those dogs were left to be and roam free. Sometimes Don would try to drop them off, but they would return. Well, let me ask you guys this. If a individual goes to, I'll say a hauler just because I'm using that as an example, and they drop off an animal, where does that become Candace's responsibility to take care of animals that were just dropped off? Okay. I really hadn't heard of anybody else in the hauler that were taking in those stray dogs and attempting to even care for them, right? Oh, thank you, Patty. I need to try to figure that out because people, oh, there it is. Let me see if I can do this right. Thank you, Patty. Thank you, darling. Let's see if Remain Calm can do the flower. Oh, there you go. You got a heart. Okay, hopefully I did that right. Let me pull my live chat up. All right. All right. Hopefully that I did whatever I'm supposed to do on that, right? And thank you again, Carrie. Thank you so much. I do appreciate you, ma'am, more than you know. Animals are like humans. Okay, but what I'm saying is, when you have a bunch of animals that are being dropped off in the neighborhood, I mean, Lisa says, as much as I dislike Don and Candace, I don't agree with this couple walking up on the property uninvited and them recording. Or I should say they were recording before they were invited to come up. Absolutely. But I'm still wondering if that little, interview was not set up by another individual first. And maybe Candace believed that it was just going to be an interview, right? They were recording her to the point that Candace started to cry, right? Candace started to cry.
Open,
Yeah.
wide open, all the
Why,
time.
Well-
sure. Look where you're at. I
Yeah.
mean, when I was a kid growing up, this is what
You
we.
wouldn't think we'd have
Yes,
anything to
who
worry about.
knows?
Yeah.
But we did. We had CPS. And I think they all,
Oh, I know what I was going to say. So Don says we had no family. The only people that we were associating with the time was CPS. The lie detector test said, I don't know what the lie detector test said, but I know what I'm saying. That is not true. That is not true. They had a lot of different individuals. And I'll say, is that rumor possibly that were coming to visit 110 Ben Hill Road? We absolutely know for a fact that Jose was there, right? Now, you know, the story about Candace meeting a guy at the dollar store and taking him home or whatever. I can't say that that's fact. I cannot say that that's fact. And I tried to make people realize that Candace and Allie had a falling out. So, you know how, I mean, guys are like that too. Women and guys are both like, if they have a falling out with somebody, you know, some of those individuals will just say things that they believe is going to hurt, you know, their ex-friend or whatever.
Right, kidnap my daughter.
Yeah,
It
church
happens to them.
people.
I really strongly believe they're the only ones. I mean, look what they did. And 300,000 Mexican children. How did they adopt all 300,000 of that
I'm
without
I don't understand. I mean, I kind of understand. Don, who knows? Don't take it personally. I am going to hide your comment. I absolutely did see it. And I know that the DRUG word you may feel isn't a big deal, but YouTube absolutely thinks it's a big deal. So anyone, if your comment is removed, please don't take it personally. I absolutely will see it. That's okay, J-Dub. Trying to retire might be easier going to work. My wife is a slave driver. That is funny, J-Dub. That is so funny. Heck yeah, you better work for that wife. We'll be doing the Britney Spears song. You better work, biatch. You better work, biatch, right? Try say, yes, rugs or substances. Yeah, just dress it up a little bit, right? We know what you're talking about. We know.
sure
issues?
when they
They
were
have the
here,
power.
they went through your house and
Well,
all
the
this and
police
that.
did.
yeah. I'm talking about before when
So,
CPS was here. Did they
Well,
not
they
look
looked at some stuff and everything.
Okay.
Now, knowing what I know now, I'd never let him in on the property.
Well, the thing about it was CPS told Don and Candace what they needed to do to their home to make it safe for the kids. They felt that the bar, the desk, whatever you want to call it, it just wasn't safe. That is one thing I know, that CPS didn't feel it was safe, you know.
So do
Now,
y'all get to talk to the boys, the three boys?
what about the three boys?
Do you still get to talk to them or see them?
No,
You
no,
So
Oh,
you don't know
wow.
anything
No, they-
about the three boys
no,
as of
no,
right now?
nothing about them. They stole them from us too. Through
Okay. Don has repeatedly said that CPS stole the boys from him. But then I am not going to sit here and say that I know what Don and Candace were being investigated for, because I really don't. I know that people were talking about paperwork and putting paperwork out there and different things like that. He will never take. You're right, Miss Justice. You're absolutely right. He will never, never, never. Thank you, Carrie. Dress up your cursey words. No, it's always somebody else's fault.
through family court, they put us
Well,
through
no
the
wonder
ringer.
she's-
They put us
Lord.
through hell.
They might have put you through hell, in your opinion. What do you think your boys went through? What do you think your boys went through?
Family court is so guilty of child trafficking, it ain't even funny.
So You don't know who got them or
No.
So when you
So,
got
just
here,
know that they took.
you just
They-
start looking around for Summer.
Yeah, yeah. And then I says, well, if you them got cops is all up here, and I says, if you
Yeah.
guys ain't gonna do nothing, I'm gonna go down the road and check down there at the damn meth house. And I went down there and kicked his door in.
Now Fred Hill can answer that. Dawn didn't go down there to kick Fred's door in. Fred has talked about Dawn coming down there and saying things like, well, I guess I'll see her in the resurrection. You know, Fred said that, and I'm not going to sit here and say that everything Fred says is factual. I don't know. Didn't live in Beach Creek, okay? But Fred said that Dawn used to sit at the end of his driveway, right? Because he was doing things and he didn't want Candace to chew him out, right? And what is it with people using Fred's property to hang out at, right? Chad Arnold allegedly was parked on Fred's property when nobody was supposed to have been home. Like I said, though, there are people that believe that Laura wasn't home with her daughter. She was not with Fred. I have the text. I could show them to you, but that is something if an individual believes that. You know why that kind of made some common sense to me? Was because I couldn't understand why Candace would have went there knowing Fred wasn't home. Because if you listen to what Candace says, you know, she's like, oh yeah, you know, Fred was in front of me when I was driving and he went one way, I went the other, whatever she was saying, right? And I'm like, wait a minute. If you knew Fred wasn't home, why would you go to his house? Right? For sure. No, Cumsey, I do not. I do not know if Sherpy Jr. or Sherpy Jr. was interviewed about Summer. I really don't. I know what his daddy said because I heard what his daddy said, right? For sure. Okay, here we go.
Do you have any that you know of around close child
Offenders.
offenders?
They're everywhere.
I know that, but I mean
But I mean,
anything
is there any in
close.
this vicinity?
Yeah,
Close
you-
proximity.
yeah. I mean,
Okay.
they're pretty much everywhere.
Yeah.
You go.
They're pretty much everywhere, but he doesn't just simply answer the question, right? I do not know these YouTubers, but they did a kind and compassionate job, in my opinion. I'm glad they made Summer relevant again. To me, she is always relevant. There are many people, Solo, that do keep Summer relevant. And let me say this, right? It's a two-way street. Some people feel like if you try to keep her name out there, and no matter how you do it, that you're wrong. There's something wrong with it, right? So if you don't talk about Summer every time, You're wrong for that. There's no winning, okay? There's no winning. Anyone who has followed my channel absolutely knows I have always said it doesn't matter who's talking about her if they're keeping her name out there, okay? If they're keeping her name out there. But yes, on the YouTube streets, it's a fine line, right? It's a fine line. Absolutely. All right, hold on a minute. Oh, just made April. Just made April. All right, hold on. I got to check a couple things for sure. Okay. Hold on. I got to check one more thing. Yeah, that's Kells. That is Kells right there. All right, hold on. I got to check one more. And yes, I do check channels over here, you guys. If I question somebody new who comes into chat, I absolutely try to check their channels. Okay, so I'll check the other one here in a minute, for real. Okay. So far, they haven't friended them and then turned against them as other had. Well, we'll see. We will see if they get angry or not, right? Hey, Peachy. Peachy. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Hey, Mama Bear.
Yeah, we checked into all that.
So you haven't heard in the last little while recently, you ain't heard of no news, no sightings,
They
no.
hit up every sex offender in this area. They had a military airplane flying for almost a week, just circling up our.
Wow.
They got from the
Now I'm sorry, but did the military airplanes, were they looking for summer or registered offenders? I don't know. Oh, thanks, Peachy. Appreciate ya.
military and the helicopters, 2 different helicopters.
Tell your old man I said, hey, hey, hey. I would still be calling law enforcement every week. Yes, absolutely. I have to agree. Who knows?
With infrared and stuff looking for her.
Yeah.
She's nowhere out here in the
And they've
woods.
searched everywhere.
And we've checked
No
every person that was with any criminal background or anything. We've looked into the.
And you was at work that day.
Yeah.
So you've got a alibi as far as where you was at. And
Yeah.
Yeah, that came out pretty slow, right? And listen, Don was very, very angry that he was relieved of his duty with Tucker Drywall. Tucker Drywall never publicly came out and gave Don an alibi. Don was very angry, from my understanding, and I'm not going to sit here and say that this is factual. It's really not a rumor because I haven't heard a lot of people even say it. So I don't want to spread a rumor. My understanding is Don was let go. Not necessarily because of the, whatever you want to call them, Molly and them, Betty, JLR, and the little girl that was doing, her channel also. From my understanding, what I heard, so I will say this is hearsay, Okay. Don was let go because Tucker Drywall asked him to not be on social media while he was working. And, Don didn't comply with that request. Also, Don has said himself that Tucker's wife was being sent things on Facebook of things that Don was being accused of, that Don, as in what happened with his stepsister when she was 5. And let me say this. I don't know if Don Wells was saying the truth when he admitted what he did to his stepsister when she was 5. But I absolutely do know that if out of, I think it was like 8 women went to, I believe it was the district attorney's office in Utah and wrote statements about things that they said Don did to them when they were younger. The problem was the statute of limitations, had expired. So, and there were a couple of them that Don denied. But Don admitted to those things, right? Don was a subcontractor and they ended his contract. Yeah, that's kind of what I said, RJ. There was a reason they ended his contract. Don says he had worked with that organization for a number of years. Okay. So I don't know, right? Your Don is saying all this stuff. So is he not telling the truth, right? Lisa, I'm not going to get into the papers. I've already spoken on the papers. Yeah, I've said what I said. I've already said what I had to say about the papers. In my opinion, those women were prepared to take those secrets to the graves. But when Summer came up missing, they knew they had to speak up. That is exactly what they said. That is exactly what Don's stepsister said. She was 5, and it went on from the time she was 5 for quite a number of years. I think where a lot of people were like, WTF, right? WTF was the fact that Don Wells, in his own words, said that it was a 5-year-old's fault. He was 12 years old, and that it was the fault of a 5-year-old. Right? If they were real, they would have been charged. I don't know, who knows. That paperwork and stuff. I've gave my opinion on that stuff.
The Voice saw her that morning
Yeah,
after
the
you done
boys
gone
were
to
the
work?
last- The boys were the last one to see her.
Okay.
Okay.
And you were at work. So
Oh.
you're completely,
That's a good question. Did the boys see her that morning? Were the boys still asleep? Were they still asleep when Candace left? That's a good question. They could have exchanged no prosecution for signing the rights away. Well, one thing I will say about it, they received paperwork from the Department of Children and Family in the state of Tennessee that says the investigation into them was closed and that they were allowed to be around children, which I don't understand any of that. I'm never going to get the answers that I have about that. Because if that was the case, why wasn't they allowed to get their own children back? Does that make sense? Right? Does that make sense? They wouldn't let that go. They would have taken the kids and charged them. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't. Thank you for the copyright disclaimer, Carrie Lawson. Thank you, ma'am. So,
I mean, they could always frame me, Hawkins County, can I'll guarantee you.
frame you how, Don? Frame you how? I believe someone asked you a question one time, and I believe it was Chris McDonough. And he stated something along the lines of you getting into trouble with something to do with Summer, right? And Don stated something along the lines of, yes, he felt that he absolutely could go to jail for it, right? That's the way they are, Kels. That is the way they are. They stay in the bushes. Look, there's a difference between a bush watcher and the no-see-em community, okay? There's a big difference.
like I said,
Did they hear any cars or anything
Nothing.
going, or
Oh, let's mention Don's boss again. Trigger warning, you guys. Don stated on a phone call with Josh from the lab and found it funny. Allegedly, his ex-employer called him to say that there was a rumor, I guess it was a rumor going around, right? That the ex-employer, there was a video, inappropriate things happening, with Summer. And Don says that the guy was crying. He was very upset. He wanted it to stop. And, Don found that funny. Exactly, Kels. Their fingers are not broke. Neither are their toes. As far as I know, anyway. Candace also found, oh, yeah. Yeah, I went over that, too. That That was something I've talked about before also. Oh, thank you, Al Kennedy.
Do cars go by here or anything like
I
that? Or
mean,
y'all the
they-
last place?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few people that live back up in there, but not a whole lot of traffic. There
Okay.
was then because, I mean, there was someone down there while that was, they was dealing drugs and a
Mhm.
lot of druggies going in and out. But
Okay.
I don't believe any of them had anything to do with it. We talked to all of them.
Okay, so now we're gonna take everybody that had substance problems and we're gonna mark them off the list, right? Hey, Kawana. Kawana. Good to see you. I ain't seen you.
So your
Hey,
wife said
SBA.
she was out with her mother in the camper.
Well, they was out here planting flowers.
Okay.
And then Summer wanted to go in, so she brought her in and made sure she got in the door.
Sure.
And then she went out back there to help her mother with a brace or something or whatever. But she was in here with the boys, so up here supposedly safe. You think she'd be safe, but again, I want to emphasize the only ones that were in our lives were CPS.
Do you guys believe that statement? He's made that statement quite a few times in this interview with the Hatfield and McCoy people. The only people involved in their lives were CPS, right? J-Dub, you didn't dress it up. I seen it though. Let me remove it. Okay. Right? SDA Church. Yeah, what about his church people? What about his church people? Oh, thank you, SDA, for being supportive. I appreciate that. They didn't have friends, people over to the house, co-workers, only CPS. Exactly, L. Kennedy. Exactly.
They're known for child trafficking.
Yeah.
I can give you some YouTubers and other child.
But Dawn, you admitted that you had a relationship with individuals from the Mexican mafia and things, that you were so tight with them that you could go up and, hey, it's me, Dawn Wells. And they would accommodate you on whatever you were looking for, sir. And that came out of your mouth. Only thing that got me about the church people is that one photographer. They played that video of him following Summer around everywhere during that one sermon. Well, if I remember correctly, and I ain't went back to look, the SDA church took down, didn't they take their videos and stuff down that had Summer in it? I mean, absolutely. Absolutely. I have said this. I am not going to sit up here and praise CPS. There are a lot of bad apples in CPS. There are a lot of bad apples in law enforcement agencies, but it doesn't make them all bad. It doesn't make them all bad, right? Yes, there are hundreds of horror stories about CPS. Exactly. You know who else there's 100 horror stories about? Dawn and Candace Wells. Right?
That you can follow, and that what they do in family court and stuff, They legally kidnap kids. That's how they took our boys.
Yeah.
They took them clear across the freaking country and then offered us a gas card. And so I'd have to take off 2 days of work just to go visit our boys.
Do you guys hear what he just said? How dare CPS put those boys somewhere safe? Because Dawn said it was unsafe. How dare they put those boys somewhere safe and offer him a gas card to pay for gas for them to go see their children? Make that make sense, right? CPS would have taken Summer and let TBI look for her. That's a good point, May. That is a good point, darling, right? Complaining. Yeah, he complained about taking off work. He complained with them concerned with the boys' mental health and possibly what would have been said to them about Summer or whatever. One thing I've noticed all these years, hey, ABN, my opinion, Dawn and Candace quickly made their daughter missing about themselves, right? About themselves. That's my opinion. I'm sticking with it.
And then they made it seem like it was such a drag that they had to go take off from their normal life to go visit the parents, you know, and I could tell.
What? The last of SWs at the end of the driveway. Yes. Yes. We do not know if she knew the person. We don't know if she wandered off. We don't know if someone possibly picked her up, took her to a different location. Well, I mean, obviously they didn't find her around there. We don't know what happened to her, right? Take off 2 days of work a month to visit their babies. Yeah, their boys. Yeah. Right. I'm sure everyone has skeletons in their closet. Hey, I ain't got no skeletons around my house. Hell no. I do not. That's weird.
Hell, they were changing them. They put all three of them on drugs and everything else.
Yeah.
What? Wait, we got to rewind that a little bit. And I have slowed this down, you guys. So let me turn my closed caption on. I'm sorry, I forgot closed caption.
They legally kidnap kids. That's how they took our boys.
Yeah.
They took them clear across the freaking country.
Oh, thank you,
And then offered us a gas card. And so I'd have to take off 2 days of work just to go visit our boys. And then they made it seem like it was such a drag that they had to go take off from their normal life to go visit the parents, you know, and I could tell they were changing them. They put all three of them on drugs and everything else.
Yeah.
This is a new interview. This is, let me make sure people know this. This is a new interview. The link is in the description. It's the Hatfield and McCoy Museum Adventures. Hatfield and McCoy True Crime. I'm not sure exactly what they go by, right? I'm not sure exactly what they go by. I don't see it, babe. Where are the jewels? Where all those jewels? Don was an independent contractor. He could work Saturday, Sunday. He basically can make his own schedule up to 2 days off a week when you can work the rest of the days. Don did not work on Saturdays. Okay. The SDA church, you know, does business on Saturdays. So he did not want to work on Saturdays. Don also was not a contractor, he was a subcontractor. So basically, a subcontractor will bid on jobs, a contractor will hire the subcontractor. It is up to the subcontractor to hire an employee to help or something like that, right? So, yes, Don could basically, well, I want to say come and go as he pleased. But I think Tucker, okay, so this is what I see. Tucker Drywall was the contractor. So they bid on a housing development. The individuals that worked for Tucker were drywallers, electricians. These are subcontractors that the contractor hired, right? So the reason that Don had other individuals that worked for Tucker was because they all were working on this subdivision. They all were working on newer homes. Right. So I don't know how I don't know how Tucker did it. You know, if he was like, look, I at least want you in here at a specific time, and I want the doors locked and these houses empty by 5:30 in the evening, right? Which would have had them all stopping whatever they were doing at a specific time. Don could have left that job anytime he wanted. Anytime he wanted, right? Yes, Amber. Thank you, ma'am. Here we go. As long as the job gets done, they're good. I can't believe he said on rugs they were putting themselves on medication to help them, right?
Yeah, they make it impossible to get your kids back.
It's not paying attention.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Well,
I really
And look, they have to know that CPS was very much aware of live streams where they were intoxicated, they were doing substances. I mean, they were doing things. Hang on, you guys. Hang on a minute. Hang on just a second, guys. Okay, sorry. I don't know what the heck is going on with my phone. For sure. Why it's going to voicemail. Had a problem with that for some reason. Okay, we'll check her out, I guess. It hasn't been ringing, but I have it on. Chapstick. If I remember right, someone else did as well. Doors were left unlocked to all the homes in the area then. Okay, Chapstick. All right, here we go. Moving on.
I honestly believe that CPS definitely has something to do with Summer's disappearance. They're capable.
CPS was called, Lisa, because of situations that individuals felt CPS needed to be called for. Kathy's cry closet. Ugh. I mean, there are individuals that admitted to absolutely hold on. Okay. I don't mind anybody coming into my chat. Just please stay respectful. That okay. Here we go. I mean, Allie called, right? I don't know if how they do that, but Allie called saying that her children were not being returned to her and that Candace threatened her with a pew-pew, right? Now, I don't know if CPS would look into that or not. Also, yeah, there were a couple other things also. Hang on, dang it. Hang on 1 second. I've got my cords are all messed up. My cords are messed up, people. Okay. Well, they say it wasn't a healthy environment. There was a lot more going on that is why CPS took the children. It wasn't only because of the BB pew-pews or the Don stating that it was unsafe on his property. You know, it wasn't, yeah.
Adopting her out. They know they have all the contacts and everything else in the corrupt world. I mean, what's that guy that had the island? I can't remember.
Yeah, Epstein.
Epstein. Okay, all them kids that were there, all them young girls, they were adopted kids.
Yeah. Do you
They were all adopted kids.
do you hear from the law enforcement any?
I don't hear nothing from
No,
sorry
here-
sons of bitches.
No more.
I don't want
Got an ABI invite for 5. I do not know what you're talking about, AVN, but have fun.
to hear from them.
Yeah.
Not Hawkins County. Don't trust none of them.
So you
And
don't
the
have
thing of
any-
it is that CPS has been kidnapping kids all these years. Ronnie Lawson's been sheriff for I don't know how many years. I wonder how many kids have been legally kidnapped under his sheriff badge or whatever. That's all Hawkins County's got. That's how they make their money.
And so nobody's giving you any updates or telling you there are any suspects that they know of or anything like that.
No, they ain't going to.
Wow.
So these individuals are asking Dawn what law enforcement has told them.
As far as I can tell, they ain't even looked into CPS. They're the largest child trafficking network in the entire
That's
world.
insane.
Well, we ain't gonna hold you up.
I know they're responsible for it. I know they're behind it.
You've been very nice to
But
us.
we can't go up there and question them. You can't. CPS is higher than FBI.
Donnie, you said a while ago that y'all had passed a polygraph. Is
Yeah,
that a
we
fact? I mean, that is a fact.
Yeah, we both passed.
And they told you passed. It
Yeah, I
wasn't.
had the paper, but the jail stole it from me.
And who got?
Why would the jail steal something from? I was talking about this before. I told y'all, Don said he took that paper to work with him and they stole it. Of all things that they would take, why would they freaking take something that you could go right up and get a copy of it, right? That doesn't make any sense. That makes no sense to me. But then again, Don believes that. Did you give it to Tim Mullins? Why would you give Tim Mullins your phone and allow him to download allegedly pictures? But he had access to, Tim Mullins had access to that phone. And I don't know exactly what the dude downloaded, but why would you even take a original, which just a copy anyway? Who did you not want seeing that, Dawn? Who did you not want the possibility of you being in jail and someone seeing that? If you passed it, you should have been showing it everywhere, right? Yeah, they signed the boys over. They signed the boys over. And whether people like it or not, when CPS takes a child, sometimes it's very hard to find the right foster parents to, have that fit with that child, that they're able to give the children undivided attention, take them to therapy, do all of that stuff. All of that stuff, right? How dare they give him a gas card to go see his own children? And believe me, it's out there where Don threw a tizzy fit and was pissed off that he even had to drive to go see his kids. Now, my opinion, the guy could drive all over BF Egypt to get substances. He could take off for days on end. Days on end. But he had a problem with driving, an hour or two to spend time with these boys. Of course, Don wasn't the problem. It was everybody else, right?
Hey, did the sheriff's department or state police?
TBI.
TBI gave you that.
Yeah.
It was from their examiner.
Yes.
Wow.
Your chat vanished. I don't know why, May. Yes, Miss Justice, that's the way it seemed. Thank you for putting your attention. I don't want to envision that, Kawana. My screen went blank, no chat. Oh, I don't know why it did that, darling.
Okay.
Wow.
You know,
I mean, that's a
Candace
strong statement to
Candace
make.
has her paper, but the jail stole mine.
And it said inconclusive, or it said telling was truthful, or
Yeah, that we both passed.
Wow.
Yes, so we're telling the truth. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're right. A lot of times, if the person's not, if they're,
I mean, that's all fine and dandy. They can say they passed. I've never seen any paperwork that says they didn't pass or whatever. A lot of times with a missing child case, they want to get the parents in there. They want to question the parents. They want to do those interviews. They really don't want to wait 3 days. And I find that rather gracious of law enforcement to wait 3 days after a child goes missing and let the parents come in then to question them, right? If they can get the parents know that they didn't have anything to do with it, they can move on to other people of interest. I would think a parent of a missing child would want to go in there immediately and say, look, yeah, this guy was a creeper last week while we were at the grocery store, you know, this and that. Let me tell you exactly what transpired. Find my daughter. I had nothing to do with it. That's the way I see it. But like I said, there's a lot of things that we don't know if they're factual or not. We don't.
it's an incomplete test, or
Right.
they'll say it
Yeah,
like
there's
that. But
different-
very seldom will they just come out and say, yeah, you're telling the truth. They'll
Right.
leave it.
Right.
So that's
But,
definitely
you know, in the YouTube world, basically, that don't mean a whole lot. to people
well,
out
I think
there.
it does as a police officer.
Right.
I mean, you can't put your whole case on a polygraph.
We spent 2 days taking polygraph.
Yeah.
Really?
But
2 days.
and
The first day we'd been up for 3 or 4 days, just thinking about Summer being hurt, physically
Yeah.
hurt.
Everything's running through your mind.
So we couldn't sleep for days. So when they get in there and they start, okay, they get you to call.
And I have to say that is probably true. If they had nothing to do with Summer, and this is the thing, if they did have something to do with Summer, wouldn't some sort of guilty knowledge also put you in that position? So it's either you didn't know anything and you're stressed out, you're up for days because you're concerned about it, or whatever, right? Then there's having guilty knowledge and being up for days because you're concerned with what's going to transpire with you and law enforcement, correct? Then there's being up for days because of substances.
Calm down, you sit there for a while, so your heart rate goes to nothing, and we both fall asleep.
yeah,
So we couldn't do the test the first day.
What do you mean all the blankness? What do you mean there's no sound, Chris? Are you guys having a problem? If you are, let me know so I can correct it. Please put a 1 in chat if you can hear it. Carrie hears me. I don't know what's going on, Chris. Exploited hears everything. You're not hearing anything, SDA? Shouldn't have been nothing happening with the sound. Yeah, go back out. If you're having a problem, please go back out and then come back in again. Thank you, Mary. Yeah, go out and then come back in. Oh, thank you guys for letting me know. Thank you, Karen with the C. Thank you guys. Yeah, I don't know, Chris. I don't know, Chris. May, did you go back out and come back in? Because I know May said she had a problem.
So we got
That's-
some rest and went back and we both done the test again.
Sure.
But yeah.
Wow.
Thank you,
Yeah, I
Al
mean, the
Kennedy.
corruption in family court and DCS has gotten so out of hand, and it's all about the almighty dollar. They don't.
Yeah.
It's bad. CPS breaks every commandment.
Well, that's what she said a while ago about YouTube.
Now here we go. He's talking about the commandments. They break all the commandments. Madeline McCann's parents acted guilty. Dawn and Candace haven't, in my opinion. I do believe Summer could have been kidnapped. You believe she would have went with a stranger. Well, I say this, May. I'm not here to say that Dawn and Candace are guilty of anything. Right?
And of course, YouTube, there are a lot of big YouTubers. We're not big YouTubers. We don't have that bigger subscribers. We don't have that bigger market. On my channel, my own personal channel, I don't even have it monetized because people say, well, he's just Hatfield McCoy. He's just saying this, trying to sell books. We don't sell no books. We don't sell, we don't, I'm not monetized on my channel just so people can't say, well, it's all about the money, because you're exactly right.
So he's letting us know that he's not monetized, all good in the hood, to each their own. Yes, he is. He's running commercials on his stuff. What? The guy is running commercials on his stuff. Am I crazy? Oh, don't answer that. Don't answer that, because I am kind of cray-cray, right? What? I know I heard what I heard.
Right.
Yeah.
Money is the root of all evil. I mean, there's no,
And
now-
CPS is at the top of the list as far as that goes.
I don't understand. The last time you had any dealings with TBI, what was their last remark to you? Did they say we suspect you? Did they say we think she's been kidnapped? Did they say?
Well, they, just like all of Hawkins County and TBI and stuff. I mean, they make you feel real uneasy and everything. They make
Well, that's part of
they
play.
make-
We do that.
they make it look like you're the guilty party kind of thing.
yeah.
They won't listen to anything you got to say.
Sure.
But what have you got to say, Dawn, that you're saying they don't want to listen to, right? Not this. Jess, on the channel that I am showing this interview, Jess, there's commercials on it. I had to silence it because of the commercials. Right? To most people covering, I don't know what you're talking about, Lisa. Well, it is their daughter, so. Okay. They probably don't want to. Look, I don't care who monetizes or not. I've never put myself where I went around finding everybody that made money off of Summer's case. That is totally on individual people, right? Okay, so the guy's got 2 channels. Okay. They probably don't want to hear his sermons and whatnot. Can't imagine not one law enforcement or TBI person not willing to hear everything he's got to say. Yeah, that's what I would think. That is what I would think, right? The word gummidge suit or lion out of the Wizard of Oz would look good on him. Oh, yeah, you're right. He looks like he has bunny ears. Lord have mercy, y'all.
Like what I'm trying to tell y'all, they don't want to hear that.
Yeah. And some people gets in that mindset that, and again,
Okay, Don just answered that question. So basically, it sounds like what he's saying is he is talking with TVI, Hawkins County. I don't know if they spoke with FBI, but it sounds like that. I'm sure they heard him out, right? No, you're fine, Jess. You're fine. They probably did take into consideration CPS or whatever. I'm sure law enforcement did. Okay. They just didn't want to stay on that theory. When anyone, and this includes us, we're not even law enforcement. When you don't know what happened, and I just feel like, this is just the way I feel, this is just me, we hang on to what Dawn and Candace say. We do. There's a reason I'm even going over this stuff. There's a reason I am. Dawn and Candace have not, I don't know about Candace because I really don't go around wherever Candace is, right? So I don't know, possibly, you know, what she said or anything, but you know, I don't know if we, I don't know. I'll just leave it there for now.
we get in that mindset because, like we talked about a while ago, the little Jaden Spicer, the mother actually
The
killed
mother's
her
one
child.
initially purposely.
So we get in that
Yeah.
mindset because it happens
Trigger warning.
so often that,
I'd like to share some pictures with you if you got a minute.
oh, and we don't want to bother you.
Well, no, you're fine. I would just like to show you what our family was like before CPS
Sure.
got
Oh,
them.
And that is true. That is true. Candace was putting out pictures of her and the kids. In my opinion, Candace was much more involved with the children than Dawn ever was. Okay. Dawn very easily from, and I'll say hearsay, but I believe Benny Keys, okay? I believe Benny Keys when he said he was at 110 Ben Hill Road with Candace and Grandma, and Dawn, poof, disappeared. He disappeared. And they called in a, I don't know if it was like a missing adult. I'm sure Benny could tell you the exact verbiage on it. But they ended up calling about Dawn missing. Dawn comes back. He had been, you know, gone and having a good time. He did that pretty frequent from our understanding of it.
We'd love to see them. We'd love
If
for
it's
you
all
to.
right with her.
We'd love for you to show. I wish she understood us better. I think as a mother and everything, she would see we're fair.
Yeah.
Now listen, if you say something that's derogatory or something that's not, that I say, whoa, that's a lie.
Yeah.
Then I don't think Fred won't say, Donnie, I don't think that's. But
Right.
see, so far
Yeah.
you've been as kind and nice and straightforward with me as anybody could want you to be.
I'm trying to be a better person.
I think that Sheila and I are the same way. I think people should treat people the way they want to be treated. Our main goal right
Yeah.
here, right now, should be where is
Right.
Summer?
That's right.
Where's, don't worry about
Yeah.
you. Don't worry about her.
Right.
Don't worry about people's personalities or attitudes. Don't worry about YouTube. Where is Summer? Is there somebody out there that may watch mine and Sheila's video and say, hey, we've seen these other YouTubers. We don't like them, but there's something about these two. We think they're sincere. Let's try to help. Or let's tell Donnie this, or let's drop a note here. We never know what God's got in store.
That's right.
We never know.
That is true. We don't know what Jesus is thinking. Maybe he has another family. I don't believe he has another family, SDA. I don't know if you would consider Ladies of the Night family, but he did care about him, right? Because hearsay, rumor, allegedly, speculation, opinion, whatever you want to believe, you know, Don many times tried to save people. He was the savior, right? There are a lot of things that Don Wells has said that come to mind, and the young girl who was standing on a street that looked like an adult female, Don, out of the kindness of his heart, put this young girl in his truck and was like, let me take you home. Well, he decided he was going to go in the house with the young girl, right? Yeah, that whole story's out there. I'm sure you guys remember it. He was speaking then about young kids being in that house where he took this little girl back to, and that he was pretty sure that the woman, the grown woman who was living in the home with these young kids, were not their mother, were not their grandmother. No relation to these kids. And he mentions Crack-a-lacka, right? He mentions Crack-a-lacka happening in that house. So, yes, what he said about Allie's daughter, the way she looked, she was going to be impregnated, that the little girl, after Summer went missing, about the same age as Summer, being out in the yard playing, Don felt that she was too close to the road. He decided he was gonna, you know, do a good deed. And the mother of this young girl definitely, I believe it was on Facebook, said how she felt about that situation and inferred that Don Wells had said some things to that little girl that her mother did not appreciate. For sure. She was in jail. I saw that, and it was for something to do with children. Who was? Oh, you're talking about True, Allie's daughter. Yeah, we talked about that the other day.
What the future, maybe it might be the very person they watch a video and they say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and at least let Donnie and what was her name?
Candace.
Candace. I'm going to let Donnie and Candace know that Summer's okay. I'm going to at least call these YouTubers, 606-669-0364.
Oh my gosh, he just dropped his phone number. That is kind of weird, I think, but hey, don't call that number and give these people crap, okay? You never know. Someone may call them. We don't know. We do not know, right? His number's public. Well, obviously it is now. Turn the page.
And tell them that Summer's okay. She's doing good. Quit worrying about her. We may never get a call, but wouldn't it be something if we call you in a week or two and say, hey, Donnie, guess what? So, yeah, we'd like to see any pictures you got if you can work it out with Candace. And she's a
Hey, Mr. Hatfield McCoy guy. Okay, well, turn the page. Not that I'm trying to demean their channel or anything. I only had one thing that I kind of watched on their channel, and that's when they found the remains of that guy. I knew that they got a reward out of it, and I also know that I believe someone else got a little bit of that, and they did not like it, and they fought to get every last penny of that reward. But no, I personally have not spent a lot of time watching these people. Ernie hiding. Good, Eber. Yeah. I personally do not care about Ernie Shell. I haven't even mentioned Ernie today, but thanks for letting us know.
agreeable. That would be great.
Yeah,
I want
yeah.
people to see the other side.
But yeah, when they, you know, when they took them 300,000 Mexican children from their parents,
Ugh.
and then adopted them all out, that was a pretty good indication of what they're capable of right there. Border was wide open. They bringing, you know, drugs and everything in.
Don, those children. Now, yes, there was a big problem with children who were coming across the border that had no mother and father, no guardians whatsoever. And yes, they were being held by the government. There was such an influx of children that absolutely children were having to be sent to different states to try to find somewhere where they could stay, right? Hey, Deb. Eber knows, obviously, that, you know, I don't give a crap about Ernie. I am not talking about Ernie today. Have no desire to. So you might go and let his Tiggers know.
They probably took my daughter across the border.
Yeah, anything's possible.
The DCS.
I don't give a fuck if he was hating on me or not, Lisa. It does not change my life any, okay? I don't give a crap.
Really works worldwide.
Anything's possible.
Yeah, I mean, there's just major corruption at DCS and family court.
So who was in charge? Is the TBI, were they in charge of this investigation? Is that who was
They got involved,
over?
you know.
Who's over? Who is the agency that right now, if you had to call somebody?
I wouldn't call none of them
Sure,
because
I
they're
understand.
worthless.
I understand.
In my opinion, they ain't.
So everybody's worthless in law enforcement. And I remember Don coming out saying, Ronnie Lawson's a cool guy, TBI, Hawkins County, FBI, they are all doing a wonderful job with Summers' case. So, my opinion, him saying that gives him a reason and an answer when an individual may ask him, why are you not communicating? I don't know, Karma. I don't care what's going on with Ernie. Okay? Don't mention Ernie in chat, please. Please do not mention Ernie in chat. If you want to find out about Ernie, I have given many times channels that you can go watch that will tell you all about Ernie.
They ain't done nothing. And you talk about CPS and all that. That's their bread and butter. They ain't gonna go after them. That's why they make their money.
How is that their bread and butter?
9.2 billion. There ain't.
No, Miss Justice. They don't. They don't have ears here. All right? They don't. They will hate on Remain Calm and hate on me and hate on me. But, people who do listen to me, many times, I give people ideas on what they can use for content. I think that's my opinion. I am not being a big head about it or whatever, but I ask a lot of questions over here. If that gives someone an idea on, content for themselves, what am I going to say? Right? What am I going to say to a bigger channel who will repeat something I've said, use things that I've said for their own content, and they don't give me credit for it, right? And I don't run around bitching about it. It hurts my feelers sometimes, but hey, Don's trying to turn the conversation to CPS. That is what he's been talking about the whole time, J-Dub, the whole freaking time. Deb, did I say hey? Hey, Deb.
One person running for governor or anything talking about CPS.
Where did you get your figures and stuff at, if I can ask? I hate to bother you, but I mean, I know people are going to be asking this question. Where is he coming up with these numbers at? And
there's several different. We got 2 lawyers that are out there. Connie Reguli, Garza is another one that's trying to do a lot of good.
Okay, so basically, Don's getting us statistics from YouTube channels that, the creator is a lawyer or whatever. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But how did he so quickly go from substance dealers, substance abusers, PDS, registered PDS, to strictly CPS? All that time on their hands, and the house looks like it did 5 years ago, a building site. I don't know, Kathy. I've never been to 110. It does look like they're attempting to to put, some work into it.
Change
They're
things.
trying to help you or they're against the
They're,
And remember, I will say this, Dawn and Candace was never on assistance. From my understanding, they were never on assistance. They did not get food stamps. As far as medical, I don't remember ever hearing that. Mama Bear said, "Y'all stop it. Some of us are trying to hear the video and RC's opinion. If you want to know about Ernie, please do his channel and stop." Thank you, Mama Bear. So, but yes, from my understanding, they were not receiving any government assistance. With 4 children, right? That would, with only Dawn working, I'm sure it was a little bit complicated for them at some point, right?
yes.
let me see if I can find this.
Okay, take your time.
Okay, this is Robert Garza, I think's his name. I mean, he even made up this little thing right here. He's going all over the country.
You care if I get a picture of that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Just hold it up there and I'll let the film get it.
And it's Robert Gar-
It's just by the numbers.
Process by the numbers. Okay, they can Google it.
28 times more likely to be abused in group foster care.
I
75%
agree
of
there.
removals.
I agree there.
75% of removals start as neglect, not abuse. 30
75% starts as neglect, not abuse, right? Thank you, Carrie.
billion spent annually on foster care. Prevention gets just a fraction. 250,000 per child per year in foster care. That's how much they make per child.
Yeah.
Each child is worth approximately.
I agree, L. Kennedy. Don said his own words. He asked CPS to take the boys. Now, because it was dangerous up there, I could absolutely understand his concern about that, because there were a lot of people coming up there.
$1 million
Yeah.
throughout their course of
Yeah.
being in the system. He made up this chart here, but it's, there's
That's okay.
just
They
so
can Google
much.
it. They can Google it if they're
Two
interested. That was my
times.
question. And you answered it. Look how you went to, now how can I make anything negative? You're sitting here calling off these numbers and quotes, and I ask you where you got them from, and you pull it up and show me. How can I be negative against you for that?
We'll see.
Really? Why would anybody be negative against Dawn for pulling that up? I'm not negative against Dawn because he's pulling up a couple different channels that he's watching, right? About CPS and CPS taking children and this and that happening. But where I feel negative toward Dawn is the horrific things that he said could have happened to his daughter. The horrific things and the games that he and his wife have played around on social media. Now, look, I don't blame Dawn for, calling some creators names or whatever he was doing, right? But it was all negative. It was all, the majority of it, I don't want to say all, the majority of it was negativity, motel rooms, hammers, substances, the R word. If that stuff could have been happening, and you said that out of your own mouth, now it's CPS. I don't know.
We also have a friend that works in the jail in Greenville, the juvenile jail, and they're all foster children. And see, when they can get a child, some mental health expert to say that, oh, they got mental issues and get them in this program,
Special,
they
yeah.
get, oh my God,
Oh, yeah.
ungodly amounts of money.
So does the foster parents. If the
Yeah.
foster parent takes a problem child,
Right.
they get extra pay for that problem
So
child.
it's just a
That's
money making
true.
deal. They're ripping off the federal government, saying that all these kids need help because we
Let
got
me
all
ask
these
you this,
terrible
Donnie.
parents, which is not true.
Let me ask you
I'm
this
gonna show you some pictures.
on a fair play.
But what does that have to do with Summer missing? I mean, they're correct in what they're saying. Absolutely. If a foster parent gets a child and that child has maybe ADHD, PTSD, many different, things that a child could have, they do get extra money if that child is put on medication. From my research into it, absolutely. I mean, they're correct about it.
Yeah.
When you come home that day, she's nowhere to be found. You started looking, you went to neighbors, you done this, you done that. When did you come up with this theory of foster care? How was it, a week later, 6 days later, a month later?
At first, like I said, we couldn't sleep because we was thinking that somebody was hurting her. She was being abused,
Yeah.
locked away, or hurt. But now there's a potential in my mind if she was, adopted out, that she could possibly be with some good people. It's possible.
Yeah.
Not probable.
That's what you want to
but
think.
Possible.
At least that's what a person.
I would think that if they took Summer, I do believe they would have took the boys too. Why would they take one child to get them away from, a lot of nasty stuff or whatever, but then they're going to leave 3 other children in that situation? I don't know. Well, some people don't, Kathy, agree with how they did it.
Wants to think to
Right.
get through.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And praying, doing a
That's
lot of praying,
right. That's right.
reading scripture,
That's
and
right.
begging God.
That's right. That's the man, buddy. That's where it's at.
Who can get it
And I'm
done.
like you, and if she's not here, at least maybe you pray that she's not been mistreated.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the.
But I mean, the president and his associates, they talk about the 300,000
Good
kids
job.
and everything that they've gone through. They said that one little girl had been raped.
Let me ask this, and this is going to be a weird question. What does speaking on, and look, a lot of people consider what Dawn is saying conspiracy theories, right? How is speaking on CPS like that, how is that helping find Summer, right? How is that helping find Summer? Don is 56. He could not give an age for Candace. I have their ages, J-Dub, in my notes, right? I need a Summer is my bread and butter. Do you really think Summer's my bread and butter, Anita? I mean, you put a question mark on there. Let me ask you, do you believe that Summer is my bread and butter? How long have you been around my channel? Right? Well, the thing about Dawn, and Dawn wasn't there that day. Dawn was not allegedly there that day. He wants to believe his wife, right? He wants to believe his wife. So of course, right? Of course, the blame has to go elsewhere, right? For sure. Has to be elsewhere. And I'll tell you this, Anita. I don't make any money. I don't have a lot of subs. And the majority of what I get paid by YouTube, it's not talking about Summer Wells. I can tell you that, right? But you didn't want to answer my question. You just wanted to come in and be a smart ass. So, what are we going to do with Anita? Let's just, let's get rid of her. Later, Anita, I need for you to go with your little crony somewhere. You don't know my channel very well. I kicked her. And it's not because of what she said, but go fucking spew that shit to the people who have made thousands and thousands. If you don't think that one person made $24,000 in 1 year, 1 year off of that baby, right? If you don't think another channel isn't bragging because they made $28,000 in a fucking year off of talking about Summer. And these were people that talked about her every day, every day, every day. I don't use my time to talk about Summer's case every day. Not that I couldn't if I wanted to. And as I said before, you want to come in here and act like an ass, I'm covering this because this is the first interview that the Wells have done in a long time. And guess what? I need attention. That's what you need to change your name to. I need attention. There's channels that were talking about this interview long before me. You don't do your research very well. Yeah, Cher got teeth. For real. For real. There were people getting freaking dentures and all kinds of shit. Yeah, I don't need Anita over here. Okay? That is one thing I will say. I know who my people are. And, you know, I don't need the shit. I really don't. Anywho, moving on.
They said like 600 times or something.
I'm glad you brought that up. Have you got anything in your past, Donnie, that's questionable or anything?
Yeah, I've got a criminal background.
A criminal background as far as what? Thievery or
Yeah, and all that. you know,
drugs? Nothing dealing with.
Dawn. A police report states you went into a woman's garage while she was inside sleeping in her bed and you took her underwear. Yeah, I guess that would be thieving, right?
Children or
Nothing.
child abuse, nothing like that. Okay, that's what I'm asking. That's what I want people to know on here. I don't care about thieving, or everybody cares about it, but I'm not caring about a criminal record.
I really don't care either. Dawn's criminal record, if anybody paid attention, even Sheriff Lawson at the beginning said they did not feel that Dawn's criminal record had anything to do with Summer Moon Utah Wells going missing. All right. Let's quit talking about Cher, okay?
record. I'm asking about criminal record that dealing with with abuse of a child or
Right.
nothing like that.
No.
And your wife neither.
No.
Okay. See, as a police officer, that would be questions that I would.
And he's right. There are no police reports, no receipts of Dawn or Candace. Oh no, I take that back. Candace. Oh, I almost forgot about Candace. Candace absolutely does have some charges like that that concerned her first 2 children, right? Oh, hey, Lippy. Lippy. He said Dawn, Amy's. He said Dawn. Lawson was talking about Dawn, for sure. Did Candace really hit her oldest son on the head and gave him brain damage? Jess, JLR has the police reports, okay? And Candace's oldest daughter did come out and, spoke a little bit. So I'm not going to say that, there was definitely child abuse going on in her first marriage. And they came and took her children. So JLR has it on his channel. I don't know if I could find it really quick. But yes, JLR has it on his channel. He's got the police reports.
As an investigator, if I come to talk to you, I would ask you.
Now, when we was in the middle of trying to fight for our children, they would make us go do drug tests. I'd be in the middle of work, and they'd say, you got to go here and do a drug test.
Sure.
So I couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
I couldn't afford to take off for 2 days to go see
I know a guy that's in New York City, and they called.
Did you guys ever hear that? I don't think I've ever heard it, but I'm sure other people have heard it, but I haven't heard that, where they were just calling at the drop of the hat and saying, you need to go get tested. I didn't know that if CPS did that, they made the parents pay for it. But I'm saying I don't know, okay? I'm just saying that's the first I've heard it, but I don't know.
Him to go take a drug test from Kentucky.
Yeah.
He said, I'm in the middle of New York City. I can't go. They
Exactly.
said, you got 4 hours to go take.
Yeah. You can't do it.
And
They make it
and they put
impossible.
him.
Yeah.
So I understand that part, but that's not.
Donna said that from the beginning, that CPS, I wouldn't know either, Jess, but he has said from the beginning, whatever care plan that CPS had given them that was to be completed, even in the beginning, Dawn was like, I can't do it, right? I can't take time to do the things they're wanting me to do to get my children back. And if I remember correctly, they give the parents isn't it like a year? They give the parents like a year or something. I've talked about a lot of that stuff before. I just don't remember a lot of it off the top of my head.
What would
We went until we were totally broke. And then these YouTubers would follow us around. They got me fired in so much, everywhere we went.
We're not going to do that. That's
You
not
know?
us.
No, I'm not saying you.
That's not us.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
but these other ones,
that's
these
not us.
crazy ones out there.
My question is,
I do agree. I mean, JLR was pulling up to motel rooms and, you know, all kinds of stuff. So, I mean, they are kind of speaking the truth there, right? But I think that they have to take accountability for what they were doing and saying. And you can't pick and choose what YouTubers you'll allow to do certain things, but then get angry when other YouTubers do the exact same thing, right? If that makes sense.
come and Sheila's as investigators, especially as a police officer. I was a detective. I was a police chief. I was a 40-year career. And the questions that I would ask you is not YouTube questions.
Right.
Even though YouTubers find them interesting, there's people, I don't know how much. I haven't kept up on this case real good, to be honest with you.
Right.
You can probably tell that. But they may be something you've discussed today that you've not talked about, and other people says, hey, I had a different impression of that guy.
Discussed to David. David who?
I thought this guy was the one that had something to do with this, but maybe not.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to ask questions that I would ask as an investigator
Right.
about your background as far as children or anything like that. If there's nothing there, you know, a person's past often predicts their future. If a
Yeah.
person's got a past,
Wow. All right, you guys just heard the guy say a person's past often predicts his future.
of being a pedophile or being a abuser, then it carries over. But if you've not got a past of that, if your criminal histories of other things, you wouldn't all of a sudden turn into or you wouldn't think, let's put it like that.
Well, I think with every situation, you know, I think
Doug was Doug of no thanks. That's the only Doug I knew, right? That's the only Doug I knew as a YouTuber anyway.
we all got
But he said Dave.
to fight, you know, to become Christ-like, because we're born
That's
into
right.
a very simple world.
And we're none without sin, pal.
All of us got serious issues until we
Yeah.
start trying to become Christ-like.
Yeah.
And that's, you know.
Yeah. Well, none of us are without sin or mistakes in our lives.
Right. Without God,
Very
we're,
true.
Can't
we're
do
in
nothing
trouble.
without the Lord.
Yeah, we're going to be lost.
After 5 years,
This is 5 years of thinking back and thinking the way CPS done us, the way they made it impossible to jump through all their hoops to get our boys back.
Donnie, let me ask you this. See, you and I'm being devil's advocate. Don't take me.
The thing about it is, you know, Dawn felt that way, but there were many other families that absolutely made sure that they did everything that was asked of them to get their children back. So I don't know if, you know, they made up a different one than, you know, all the other parents that have had their children taken or whatever, right? I don't think so. I wouldn't think so, right? He said Dave. He didn't say Doug. He said Dave, I thought.
Personal.
I get it.
But I know you keep going. Who else besides CPS do you think? Nothing else has crossed your mind about?
Now, they were working with the Mexican Mafia at the time when we had open borders. So the Mexican Mafia was doing whatever the hell they wanted to do in our
Dawn.
country, right here, bringing drugs in,
I
doing
agree.
whatever the hell they
I
wanted to
agree.
do. They were working with them guys.
I agree.
And we've had some Mexican cartel members say so.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Do you guys know
Wait.
anybody we could go talk to or anything?
Wait. So, are you saying, Dawn, that you had conversations with the Mexican Mafia? I'm not saying he's not talking the truth, trial junkie. So maybe you are taking the conversation whatever way you want to, right? You obviously haven't listened to what I've said for the last 2 hours.
That would talk to us, you think that we could ask any questions of that would
Not anybody
help
that
at
we
this
can
point,
trust.
not after this long?
We could send you to what's her name's house. They used to live across here, and well, she'd tell y'all. Now she said all kinds of bad stuff about me, but all we ever did was try to help out one woman. See, CPS started to get on her case, and she lived right over here on this other hill.
Yeah.
So she
Oh, he's talking about JSB.
started saying stuff about us to get them off her and send them over here.
This was after.
I was told if you wanted any information, tell them to go talk to HCSO and TBI. That's what I was
Yeah,
told to
good
tell
luck with
y'all.
that one.
Okay. Who is it?
Baby, can we share a couple pictures of our family with these guys?
No, I cannot.
Okay.
They won't show it on. They won't show it on YouTube.
Well, that's okay. If we can't show it, I don't, let's make her happy.
Yeah.
Y'all been through a lot, guys. I'm not gonna. We're not here to play.
Well,
we're not here to be mean.
I would like to show you.
And when she watches our video, she's gonna say, "Well, I should have been a little bit nicer to those two. They wasn't so bad after all."
every single person.
Donnie hasn't told us nothing here. That Candace, that's in any manner that I've accused him of anything or you and you guys.
You know what I don't like? Is y'all recording me.
Okay,
That's what I don't like.
I understand. I understand that.
I think that's kind of disrespectful.
But Donnie said, I asked Donnie. He said, Donnie said,
Leave this on me.
I'll put it on
I'm
him.
my own woman.
Okay, I'll leave it on him. Listen, you're the one that keeps coming back out to talk to us.
Hey, pretty pixie.
Yeah, hoping you pray you put your phones away.
We're going to go. We're going to go. You've been real nice. Both of you have. I don't have nothing
Hello.
bad to say about either one of.
See, Candace, I just knew. I knew Candace wasn't happy about the way that they did that.
You don't know.
What I don't understand is why every YouTuber has to record me no matter what.
Dear, that's YouTube. YouTube
But
is.
why, if you care so much about Summer and her family, why would you record them?
Well, so we can make a video and put it out there so
So you can
thousands
make yourselves look bigger.
of people. I don't know if it makes us look any bigger or not. Really, it's just two.
Wow. I mean, I completely understand what Candace is saying. Completely understand what Candace is saying. Many people on social media went to 110 Ben Hill Road, followed them around. Look what Don B did. Y'all remember what Don B did, right? How creepy is that? How creepy. That was creepy to me, and I wasn't even Candace. And that shit was creepy to me, right? I don't understand why they just don't sell the property. Well, I mean, J-Dub, you're talking about 11, it's like 11 and a half acres of property. They have a home that Don only, paid $10 to get the deed turned over in his name. That is their home. It's paid for. So, I mean, he pays taxes, right? Once a year. Some people pay taxes twice a year, but once a year, right? And that's where they've lived for years. Now, granted, could they sell it and, make a pretty penny off of it? I don't know what property in the Beach Creek area would be going for today. So I'm not sure exactly how much they could, get out of it. But that's their home. That is their home. They could, but where would they go that YouTube couldn't find them? Good point, Flies. Very good point.
Tired older people. I'm almost 70 years old. That has a pretty good investigative career in my past.
Hey man, I don't doubt you were great when you
No,
were
I wasn't
top or
great.
whatever you was.
I wasn't
don't
great.
doubt that.
I wasn't great, but I tried my best, and
You know,
I tried to be.
I don't doubt that none.
I tried to
None
be
whatsoever.
fair with people. I think I've been fair with Donnie today.
But what I think is really, really disrespectful is, you know, the family's been broken down so many times, and for y'all to come up here with your
They
phones,
don't
and
know
your
all
video
that, though.
cameras.
They don't know all that. They don't know the whole story.
How do you know, Don, that they don't know the whole story? How do you know that they haven't went back and researched and watched you guys, you know, come on YouTube doing your crazy crap and your little games and your call to marry, and how do you know they haven't seen that? They know, listen to certain things Fred McCoy says. That's what I said, Flies. I believe that especially Dawn knew who they were and that they were coming up there. Candace, when they come up to drive, immediately says something about don't hurt my dogs or don't mess with my dogs or something, right? They said they didn't. I mean, that's true. I'm glad Candace told them about their business. Look, I am not going to sit over here, right? Then go do it, trial junkie. Go do whatever you're going to do. Go research it. Do whatever you're going to do. How are you looking at it with fresh eyes when you've already got videos and stuff over there on your channel about it? Right? Does it sound like I'm bashing Dawn? Class, have I been over here bashing Dawn? Well, go tell Dawn. Go tell him. Don't argue with her. Don't argue with her, Carrie, for real. That statement right there, trial junkie, just told me that you're over here on my channel because I'm looking at it with fresh eyes. Well, go look at it with fresh eyes, for real. The McCoys was telling Dawn and Candace all about the drama. I ain't arguing with the girl, and I ain't dropping her link either. Hoping and praying you would put your phone away. Should have ended it a long time ago. What do you mean? What do you mean put the phone away? Who knows? I don't know what you're saying. Let me say this. Whether anybody wants to fucking believe what I'm saying or not, even going back to the first live I ever did about this case, I have said over here and said, I do not know if these people are guilty or not. I don't need to sit over on my channel and bash fucking anybody. Because guess what? They did a good job on their own. Remain Calm ain't never had to do it. For fuck's sake. Yeah, go do your research. Go do your own research. But don't come over to my channel and fucking act like I'm bashing Don Wells. I'm one of a very few fucking channels who has tried to see Candace and Dawn's side of it. For real. So go do whatever you're gonna do. But don't fucking come over here and try to say that dumb shit to me. For real. I'm sure that you're probably one of the people who are like, oh, wow. Maybe if I go in to channels that are talking about the case and possibly Dawn can see that I'm like, are you bashing Dawn? Go get a hold of him. Maybe he'll have a conversation with you. Maybe he won't. I don't know. Who is a sexy mama, lol dab? YouTube held up. Dawn has always bashed himself. Absolutely. Absolutely. Go ask a few other bigger creators what Dawn has said to them. Absolutely. I mean, it's like, dude, you came to the wrong place. For real. It's her and her own admissions that have led to many feeling the way that they do. There is no alternative. It is what it is. Dawn has said some pretty disgusting things and admitted to even worse. His words. His words, lady. Go ask Dawn about the motel. Go ask him about the motel and the little children. Go ask him about piddling a 5-year-old child. Go ask him. Go ask him about, trigger warning, his daughter being hit in the head with a hammer. Go ask him about that. Go ask him all the rank shit that he has said, and then you come back, ma'am, and you fucking let me know if you think that what I have said in this live is bashing Dawn. And watch out, there are many women creators who have sent Dawn some pretty wild photos, right? Oh my God, are you fucking kidding me? Okay. Well, hey, feel however you want to feel. Feel you're a grown-ass adult. Feel however you want to feel. But whatever. I am not, lady. I don't know who you are. I really don't. But you don't know my channel very well. And I'm not arguing with anybody today. No, thank you. For real. We're going to put you in a timeout. You're more than welcome to come back. Figure it out. Let me know. Let me know what you figure out. For real. Because you cannot disregard the last 5 years. So if you believe CPS took that child, then you believe that CPS took that child. If you do not believe that, I ain't even fucking arguing with you. I already said There's no proof of shit. The only proof that we have of either Dawn or Candace touching fucking children or ABUSC children, it's out there. It is out there. The court papers are out there. Dawn admittedly touched a 5-year-old child. I don't care if it was his stepsister or not. When you're looking into a missing child, okay, go watch the trials, Trial Junkie. Okay, I'm moving on. Moving on. I'm not going to argue with somebody who obviously has never watched my channel, but they want to come in here and spout their fucking mouth off. I ain't got time for it. Usually I joke around with people like that. I ain't got time for it. If anyone took the child, an educated guess after 5 years would be a special fake agent of anti-CPS. Lord have mercy. Here's Genevieve. Yeah, she's being fucking weird. Look, the magic words are, oh, I'm looking into it. I'm looking into it with fresh eyes. Girl, that is not the way to come to my channel and want your channel pimped out. I'm just saying. I looked your channel up. You got stuff on there about Summer. So, hey, maybe Dawn will invite you to 110 Ben Hill Road. Maybe he will. But not through my channel, because guess what? I have never talked to Dawn or Candace, nor have I ever been to 110 Ben Hill Road or inserted myself into a law enforcement investigation just so I can be a fucking big ass YouTuber with a bunch of fucking subs. That's not how I roll over here. Jesus, fucking take the wheel. Oh, moving on. Moving on.
We're not been up on this story. We should have done some better research before we
You're
came.
fine.
And that way,
Look, I'm not trying to disrespect y'all at all.
It's
At
just,
all.
and we're not you.
We're not.
Hey guys, this is going to be 3 parts. And
3
I'm glad you're still with us. If you're still watching, I'm sure there's mixed feelings all the way around. We all have sympathy and feelings for both parties, for Donnie and
Candace.
Candace.
Yeah.
We really do.
And to be honest, I kind of have more feelings than Candace than I do Dawn. Absolutely.
We think she's really hurting. That's our
Yeah. Yeah.
feelings. I hope we're not wrong. I hope we're correct, because these 2 people, imagine these 2 people being innocent of all the things they've been accused of. Imagine for 5 years, not only losing your 4 children, but being accused of some of the things that they have been accused of.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sir, I ain't never accused them of nothing. One thing I have not done is throw accusations about Dawn and Candace. Do I have my opinions? Absolutely. Do I have feelings on it? Absolutely. And you better believe that when I have any discussions about how I feel about Dawn Wells, it's because of what Dawn Wells has showed us of himself. I'll take a few pieces. You could see the hurt in her eyes. She can't. Well, no, she can't trust anybody. She cannot trust anybody. So this is what a new set of eyes are going to get you. This is what a new interview. What did we learn from this new interview so far? And no, I ain't sitting over here talking shit about the Hatfield and McCoys. Ain't doing it. Don't need to do it. Right? Me too, Flies. Me too. I mean, damn, we ain't even got to the part where he told Candace if she didn't want to be recorded, then keep her ass in the house. Who the fuck does that? Right? Well, no, it is the same story. And anybody who wants to investigate the CPS stuff, you're going to go down a big, big, deep, very dark rabbit hole. Okay? There is no way that we will ever, 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 ever know CPS's involvement with the Summer Wells case or the Wells boys. For sure. We're not. But Don went that direction. That doesn't surprise me, though. I knew he would. I knew he would. And like I said, I don't have to bash anybody. They do that on their own. They do that on their own. I agree, Kwana. Don doesn't take any responsibility for anything. Now, wait, because he did take responsibility for what happened with the stepsister, right? And you can come into the case with a new set of eyes, but there's a but here. You have to remember, go back and let Don Wells tell you himself exactly what he's like. Go ahead. Because I know what he said. There's things I even forgot he said. There's things he said that I'm sure I didn't even hear. Just a question. If CPS took her, why would there still be alerts out? Why would the news still do updates? I don't know, Mama Bear. I can't answer that. They lied multiple times to Don and Candace so far. They tell on themselves. Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about the Hatfield and McCoy people, I mean, good on them. They got to go up and have a conversation with the parents of a missing child. Good for them. I mean, kudos to them. But let me tell you, if you think Remain Calm's making money off of Summer Wells, you have a YouTube channel. There's times I'm on here for 3 hours and make 2 fucking cents. So don't ever come to me with that at all. At all. But, of course, I don't care anyway. The new sheriff wouldn't have announced his intentions to thoroughly investigate Summer's case if there was nothing to look at. Yeah, he would have, Chris. He would have. I honestly believe he would have. Absolutely. You have to remember, you know, people would want to vote for you, especially if you're saying that you're going to get in there and roll up your sleeves and, you know, did she knock you? No, honey, you're still there. Why would she knock you? Mama Bear, I think Don is meaning CPS literally kidnapped Summer. Yeah, he's saying that they kidnapped her. Yeah. You're not Kawana. I see you, honey. Not a fan of Candace, but if that had been me and my guest told me to go back in my own house, I'd have tossed his ass behind the hill. Yeah. Yeah. But what did I tell you guys, right? What did I tell you was going to happen? When they came out and said that they were going to do an interview, but they had to edit it. Now, when I talked to Jody Sue Brown, I didn't edit anything in that interview. Nothing was edited out when I talked to Jody. Now, I did break it down into so many interviews because it was over an 8-hour live. So, but I didn't edit anything out of it. Even Chris McDonough stopped recording Candace when she became emotional down at the freaking watering hole. I am not here to make fucking people like me. I could care less. I do not care what Ernie Shell says about me. I don't care what Lip says about me. I don't care what any of them say about me. My goal in life wasn't to be a YouTube star, for real. I am just me. And people who have known my channel for a few years now, they know where my heart is. They've also covered Summer's case. So, good luck to you. Oh, thank you, Nose. Thank you. And like I said, that was part 2. Now, usually when I watch something to commentate on it, I watch it with everybody for the first time. I actually was going to go through and watch it by myself to see if there was any, you know, PowerPoints or whatever you want to call it. But I don't know. I do not know. Thank you, Chris. Look, I'm to the point where I just don't, I'm like, no. I'm usually sitting here, letting people say whatever they want, ask me whatever fucking questions they want. But no, don't play that shit on me because you want to come into my chat and you want fucking attention because you're going to put new eyes on the case. And you know what that means? You're going to, you know, want to hype your channel up. No, I know who I like. I know what channels I'm gonna fucking hype up, and it wasn't hers. Not at all. For sure. Yes, Flies. Good point. Good point. Since Tennessee is a one-party state, Trudy called Don, not the McCoys. That is a good point. That is a really good point. Yeah, I got a cola named after me. I got a cola, and it ain't Coca-Cola. It's a RC Cola. All right, hang on, you guys. I'm gonna get ready to get off here. Okay. The McCoys took over the convo and recorded it. So since they was meant to converse with her, can they still record? I don't know. I don't know. That's what Genevieve said. That's what she was trying to say yesterday. Genevieve, I didn't get that from you yesterday. Yesterday's live was kind of like a little befuddled, right? For sure. That was a befuddled live. I think I finally got the live where MC Hammer came up. I think I finally got that edited. I just had to take out the N word and the unaliving part. For sure. But no, you guys know how I am. Nobody after what I have witnessed on these YouTube streets that started transpiring very quickly after Summer went missing, I'm the last place anybody's going to come into and act like I've made a fucking dime off of that child. Are you fucking kidding me? Stupid questions get fucking answered by me. I can tell you that right now. And, you know, hey, Mama Bear knows. I don't care who's friends with Dawn. I don't care who's friends with Candace. Don't care one fucking iota. Go act like a fucking law enforcement official. Do your little investigation. And, you know, if somebody gives you a pat on the back, good for you. Get a fucking pat on the back. If I was on here just for money, I wouldn't be on here anymore because I don't make any fucking money. And I don't sit on my channel 24/7 begging for money. I don't beg to get my bills paid. I don't beg for that shit. I might mention them every once in a while just because I get pissed off because I got a high-ass electric bill. But let me tell you, me and every other American has a high-ass electric bill right now. I ain't the only one. Well, I was done anyway, Flies. That's the only reason I even gave her any attention. Believe me, at the beginning of the live, We had a lot going on there too. With editing it, making it into a series, it's really nothing more than using it for content. Well, for people who have not figured out what a commentary channel is, I'm raising my hand. I'm a commentary channel. I give my opinion. It's like, figure that the fuck out. Figure out why Remain Calm always says, I don't care if you like these people. I don't care if you don't like these people. Ain't got nothing to do with me. So if you want Donnie Wells to show you some attention, you need to go to a different channel. Because that shit ain't never happened over here. Okay? One time Don Wells came into my chat, and guess what? I did not allow him on my panel. I was so glad I didn't. And I ain't never seen Candace come in here. All right? You never know what I'm going to say. Oh, you meant that about the McCoys? Yes, L. Kennedy, that's what I'm saying. I said it yesterday. When they said that they were going to put it out, but she was going to edit it first. That is, I'm not a big editor because I'm not going to make people think that I'm taking out something. I'm not a good editor. I mean, of course I'm going to edit it out where somebody told me to unalive myself and called me the N-word. But that's the only part I'm taking out. I'm leaving in everything else the dude said, for real. So they kind of forewarned everybody. They were like, hey, we are going to put out this interview. We're going to edit it. We're going to make 2 parts out of it. Now it's came to 3 parts. Yes, they are running ads on it. But guess what? I ain't sat over here and said anything about anybody running ads on their content. I don't sit over here and complain about creators making money on their content, right? That is not my cup of tea. Many channels will do that, okay? There are channels. That is what they do. They expose tragedy pimps. They expose grifters. Yeah, they told Don and Candace they were not monetized. I had to block. Oh, you did, Exploited. Well, I'm glad I got rid of her. I'm glad. I don't know if I just timed her out or if I just got rid of her. Well, my chat disconnected for a second. Only a second, though. That's weird. I know I'm behind about 30 minutes. I wanted to tell you about my experience with trying to communicate with her. There was no way to get through and have an intelligent conversation. Well, I'll give you my opinion on what I just experienced with obviously a channel or whatever she is, right? For sure. I knew nothing about the girl. Of course I went to check her channel. Of course I did that. I go to check her channel and she's got Summer Wells content on there. So the way that she came at me, are you trying to bash Dawn? Are you Donnie bashing? I'm like, back the fuck up and sit the fuck down. I don't know who you are, and you ain't gonna come over here talking dumb shit to me because you want to start an argument with me so people will what? Go to your fucking channel? Guess what? I ain't dropping your link. It ain't happening. You want a pat on the back from Dawn Wells? You need to go somewhere else and get it. Go hang out with Hatfield and McCoy people. Right? Yeah, something like that. No, it was, I don't even remember the name of it, Flies. Trial Junkie channel. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm just telling you guys, I can be a bitch. And if a smaller channel comes in here and they're hanging out and they're being respectful, and you can ask a lot of fucking people this, I will drop their channel link. I will be as supportive as I can be. 1,000%. 1,000. And I don't even, a lot of people, they don't even, once they leave my chat and they get their link dropped, I am no longer a thought in their mind. Okay? They go along their merry way. They go over to their channels and, you don't hear them going, remain calm. Here's her link, even though she's not in my chat right now. And then I have my days where I'm like, I am not dropping links today. Sometimes I get like that. But no, I do believe, hell, I drop bigger channel links all the time. Because I am not a big channel. I do not check my sub count. Damn, I'm up. Well, let's see. I am up to 2.27 thou. Damn, that's pretty good for me. Lord. Where'd she go? We should have sent her to another channel you mod at. Oh, okay. That tells me a lot, Miss Justice. I know where you mod at, babe. I see you modding in some places. She's never has said that over. No, because she thought she was going to come in here. I'm a smaller channel. She thought she was going to come in here and fight with me. No, thank you. No. I ain't fighting with bitches. Are you kidding? I'll call your ass out, but I ain't going to fight with you. For sure. Well, she's probably an Ernie fan, and, they had to come in here and fucking mention Ernie, and nobody gave a fuck. So she's like, let me figure out how I can make her pay for saying she don't care about Ernie. Right? She didn't know you had a ruler instead of a boot. That's right. That is right. Very true. Freezer out at 99. I can't remember if I just timed her out or if I blocked her. I don't remember. I have, you know, short-termers. I have short-termers disease. I forget things really quick. That's bad, isn't it? That is really bad, y'all. I should remember these people who try to piss me off. I just don't. Not at all. The grifters are gonna grift. For sure. But yes, I am a commentary channel. I commentate. Okay, this is what she said, watch. Why would I want to go over the last 5 years? It's all a bunch of trash. See, I found you. I had timed you out. But now I'm going to go in. Now, you're blocked. Go somewhere else. Go cry somewhere else. For sure. But I am going to get off here. I am at 3 hours. I adore you guys. Thank you for hanging 3 hours with me. I promise you, part 3, I definitely am. I promise I'm going to listen to it first, because if it's about CPS and, you know, the commandments, and I just, and yes, I will say, and I said it yesterday with part 1, I did feel that, you know, they went up to 110 Ben Hill Road, the interviewers, I will say, right? And absolutely disrespected Candace. And guess what I also will give my opinion on? Fucking Dawn let them do it. Dawn Wells let them do it. He didn't stand up for Candace. I am very interested to hear exactly what was said when they told Candace if she didn't want to be recorded, then quit coming outside. I want to hear all the tea on that, for sure. Which clip did you have, Flies? Flies had a clip. Let's hang on. I want to see what Flies' clip was. Hold on. Oh shit, hang on. I was pulling my own stuff up. How dare I? Do 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 do. Let me say this. I may be a bitch, but I'm not a snake. I'm not a snaky snake. I'm not a slithering little sneaky snake. Oh, I can say that real well. Hold on. Hold on. What was the monetization stuff? Flies? Okay, wait, because I know you put something out. I was going to watch. Oh, here it is. Let's see. Because the beginning of their stream, I didn't play where they were saying, you know, trust in us and all that stuff, right? Oh, now I will mention Ernie, because Ernie said that he contacted them, right? Now that'd be some tea. That'd be real interesting. Okay. I just have a feeling. Let me get my psychic powers going. Hatfield and McCoy people. The minute you canoodle with Ernest Shell, I have a feeling that you say you're not in drama. Boy, oh boy, look out. You're gonna have a good time with that. He acted almost irritated. Yes, is that what this one is? Hold on. Hold on. All right, put a 1 in chat if you think that I am just the most ridiculous person you've ever known. Don't even fib about it. Hey, I know I'm ridiculous. Da, 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 da. There is Flies on the Coast Logs link. All right, let's see what you caught. What the what? In my opinion, they ain't about helping anybody but themselves. All right, let's hear it. It is ready.
Now, somebody says, well, they could have talked without being on video. Well, you could. Would you get as much attention? I thought we were trying to find a child, a missing child.
Oh, he is saying that they wouldn't have got as much attention just by recording them with audio and not video, right? Candace could tell they were YouTubians. No, Lisa, we're the only YouTubians. We, ma'am, are the YouTubians of the YouTube galaxy. Okay? I have a few planets. I am the queen of the No-See-Um community. But no, only certain people can be YouTubians. I have to give them the okay on that. Guess what? If you go back and try to find out who started calling YouTube YouTubians, the YouTubian galaxy, wow, can you guys guess who was the first person who started saying that? I'm just asking, anybody been around long enough? The 3 video gas money in front end alignment or the monetization line. What? What? Where's oh my God? Oh my God.
I thought we were trying to solve a case. Guys, when you're going to solve a case, when you want to do something, you need as many people involved as you can
Oh
get.
no.
Yep. If you
Oh, there it is. Okay, wait. Hold on, I gotta take the closed captions off. These 3 videos will not pay for the gas and the front end alignment for our trip to Tennessee. Lord have mercy. That is crazy. Because if you go back, if you research the Hatfield and McCoy people, when they were looking for the remains of the guy that they went looking where the buzzards were at, they were talking then about they needed new equipment to be able to do their job properly. All right, you guys, I need new equipment to do my job properly. Wait, I don't need a new keyboard or a mouse, because damn, Remain Calm paid for that herself. I don't need a new camera because damn, there ain't nothing wrong with the one I got. I'm sure people would say, bitch, you need a new microphone because you are loud as shit. and Remain Calm will say, I'm just a loud bitch. How about that? And I don't have to pay for that. That is just free coming from my wonderful body. That girl. Yeah, they got the reward for that. Heck yeah.
You see something, say something, guys.
That's what YouTube and that's what Sheila and I do. Don't have to agree with us. You know, there's, again, we tell everybody we're not everybody's cup of tea. We're just not. We enjoy what we do. We do it as a hobby. We do it for fun. We do it to try to help. We do it for things like that.
That precious
That
baby.
little precious thing right there. We do it for that. And we do it sometimes because we just feel led to.
Hey, don't forget to suggest to the Hatfield and McCoy people, they should go talk to Bill Shipley and the other guy, and, you know, maybe Fred to talk to him. I mean, who are they going to talk to? Where are they going to go search? So this is basically what I heard is they are saying, hey, we're going to put Summer's name out there. We're going to give out our phone number. And because we're newer people that are, you know, coming out to talk about Summer, maybe somebody ring us and tell us what they know. You know, I don't know. I would recommend that you guys call 1-800-TBI-FIND if you have any relevant information. Summer Wells went missing from her home June 15th, 2021. Right? We need someone that is truly wanting to find her, truly wanting to get information that is going to help find her. If these people, okay, this is the thing. And I've always said this, okay? If you have any relevant information, please call law enforcement. Call Hawkins County Sheriff's Department. If you don't want to do that, call TBI. If you don't want to do that, call FBI. If you don't want to do that, call Homeland Security. If you don't want to do that, call the what are they, the creepy organization, CIA. If you don't want to do that, call the president. If you feel that it is relevant information that is going to help find the child, please do not put it out on YouTube. Now, as I said, I'm a commentary channel. I give my opinion. Absolutely. We will continue, not all the time, but we will continue to talk about Summer's case. We will continue to talk about the theories. We will continue to give our opinion on it. If there is something that I say that is hearsay, guess what? I say it's hearsay. If it's my opinion, I say it's my opinion. If it is a theory, I say that it's a theory. I'm not really big on the speculating, but I'm sure I've done that before too. So I don't give a fuck who wants to run around YouTube and act like I'm a big piece of shit, because I don't give a fuck what they're doing. And I have a right. It's my channel, and I will have who I want on it, and I will get rid of who I don't want on it. And I'm not going to be bullied about it. Not at all. So there.
To go certain places. We went to Tennessee on something else before we left.
Things like that. Why not kids like Summer? Wow. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Why was that put on their stuff? Did they just want people to know? That's a lot of money, isn't it?
Much attention. I thought we were trying to find a child, a missing child. I thought we were trying to solve a case.
Summer was last seen, or Summer's scent ended on the road at the end of the driveway at 110 Ben Hill Road, right there in that little area. Okay, that is where her scent, that's where the scent ended. Okay, that is all we know. All we know. And look, fresh eyes is a good thing. I was kind of talking about law enforcement when I said that, the new sheriff coming in, but you know, there's going to be there's going to always be newer creators that are, or even some older creators that are absolutely going to come out and discuss Summer's case. I mean, that's just the way it is. That is the way it is. So that's why I told people, I don't care if you like these people or not. They walked up there, whatever they did, they did. So far, though, all we've heard is CPS, whatever else Dawn said, right? And I will say this too. Don't ever think that I will not bash a fucking PDF or someone accused of touching a child. Don't ever think I won't fucking bash them, right? In my eyes, they're pieces of shit. They're pieces of shit. So there. They looking for subs to get money. Well, I mean, that happens. That happens. I don't care. I mean, I personally don't care how anybody makes their money. I really don't. I don't, for sure. What do you say about Tim? How much did Tim pay for this couple? I don't know, Josie. I really don't. I don't know that Tim had anything to do with it. That is just my suspicion, okay? That is just a suspicion I have, for sure. And yes, the bench was still there. It looked beautiful. It did. The bench looked beautiful. Now, I don't know. I do not know, and I don't care if Candace set it up that way or if somebody else did. The bench looks beautiful. Dee Dee got the bench. Dee Dee is no longer with us. Rest in peace, Dee Dee. And that was to me, a beautiful thing that she did for Summer. And what a lovely thing to have there at the bottom of the drive for Summer, for sure. Now, I thought it was weird that, there was talk about, oh yeah, people can come and sit on the bench and take pictures or whatever. And I'm like, that's weird because Summer's missing. She's not a freaking tourist attraction. Not in my opinion, anyway, right? But that's just me. To each their own. Adore you guys. I'm getting my ass off here before I get even feistier than I am. Patty Ponytail, thank you so much for the jewels. And thank you, Sexy Mama. Sexy Mama. Where was Sexy Mama? Where was that Sexy Mama at? Did I miss her? I miss Sexy Mama. Thank you, Sexy Mama. Girl, love the name. Basically near the bench. Or someone that admits it. As I will say, and then I'm going to get off here, I cannot sit on my channel and ever say that Dawn Wells or Candace Bly Wells are guilty of anything. Absolutely cannot. I guess that is it pretty ridiculous that I was really, hey Johnny, hoping that maybe, I don't know, maybe after 5 years, they would, open up and be honest about anything. And I'm not going to put that on Candace. Okay. Dawn, I believe absolutely it had been set up for them to speak with him. And I think that he already knew he was going to use the opportunity to state, as he has had many times, the CPS stuff. Like I said, so no one gets it fucking twisted. I absolutely do believe that weird shit happens with CPS. Okay? I said that. Damn it. For real. Thank you, Al Kennedy. All right, my ass is getting off here. Adore you guys. Be you, do you. Please don't forget. Summer is missing. She needs to be found. Be found. And I will continue praying. I am also will continue to pray that Michael Vaughn is given back to his mother. Give him back to his mother. For sure. And think about this. This is the truth. If Summer is ever found, unless they can find evidence of Dawn and Candace doing something to Summer, or they have evidence of, nefarious things going on before she went missing, Summer, I don't see how they can not allow Dawn and Candace to have custody of their daughter back. I said it. Nobody has to come at me about it. You don't have to agree with me. But that's a little thunking right there, right? But adore you. Love you, Carrie. Love you, Flies. Love you guys. Thank you. Be you, do you. Have a great night. Listen to some music. And just remember, you can have an opinion. You can believe whatever you want to believe. But when you start bullying or acting like that you want to play big, bad, whatever the fuck you want to play, to try to demean somebody's character because, you want to make sure that you tell them that you don't believe what they believe. Well, that's the most fucking ridiculous shit. We're all grown adults. I prefer to be around people I can have a real conversation with, that I respect what they're saying and they respect what I say. They also respect each other in my chat. So public service announcement. Just don't get me on a bad day and I won't fucking throw you out or time you out, right? Mr. A, I don't know where you're at. He's out there on those YouTube streets. He's probably over with Mama T. It's all good. I just wanted to mention your name. Thank you for the little videos you've been making and stuff. I always appreciate them. I know Flies does too. All right. Peace out, you guys. Have a good one.